So today is about you and your life, and we're also going to be talking about this stick and what this has to do with you and your life, and also about freedom and the freedom to be who it is that you are and to live your life from your heart space rather than your head space, which is going to give you everything, all the freedom that you're looking for. Okay, and it was a few years ago, a friend of mine, we were in nature, and he had a stick very much like this that changed the outcome of my life. Okay, the course of my life. And he said, "David, do you know what this stick is like?" And I said, "Well, no, not really. Can you tell me?" And he said, "Well, this is like your life." Okay. And at one end, like this end, for example, that's where you're born. Okay. Like you're 0 years old. Right. And at the other end, this is when you die. Okay. And he said, for the most part, most people live until they're 80 years old. Statistically, that's according to the World Health Organization, that is how long people live. I was about 30 at the time, and he said to me, "So where on this stick, like where on this life, do you feel you are?" And I said, "Well, I'm about 30, which is about here on the stick." And he said to me, "Well, that is how much of your life has gone that will never come back." I'm like, okay. And then he said, "From this point through to here, that's how much life is left for you." Right? And I was like, wow. And now I'm like 42, so I'm about just over halfway through. So half of my life has actually disappeared, and I've got under half my life to live. So where is it that you are on that stick? Like if you're 60, for example, you'd be about here. Yeah. So 60, 3/4 of your life is already gone, and there's only 1/4 of your life left, right? And when he said this to me, I was like, well, what is it that I want the rest of my life to be about? Okay. Because up to that age, I was about 30. When I was 20, okay, this part here was all about stress. It was all about anxiety, and it was all about worry, right? The first 1/4 of my life, okay? And that was before I came into my heart space. Back up until this point, like that first 1/4 of my life, was all in my head, okay? All of the stress, all of the worry, all of the anxiety, okay? And all of the resulting tension and everything in my body, and not really enjoying at all my experience of being alive, okay? But it was at that point where I came into the heart connection work, right? And reconnected with the love, reconnected with the peace, reconnected with the joy that's within, right? And now I'm 42, so this 1/4 of my life has been all about that, okay? And the next rest of my life is going to be about that too. But at the point of 20, right, if I hadn't have done something differently, like if I didn't have a nervous breakdown, which is the result of stress and anxiety and worry, if that hadn't happened to me, the rest of my life would have been about stress, anxiety, and worry, okay? But instead, here I did something differently. I went into nature much like this. All the business of my thoughts melted away, came into a deeper place within me. I got to express that in the world, and that's where I've been living from, with all the synchronicities and the magic and the flow and peace and love and joy that has resulted from that, okay? And that's why this stick can be a game changer for you, because if you're like me, halfway through, and this part of your life has been in stress and anxiety and worry, okay, if you don't do something differently, most likely it's going to remain that way. Likewise, if you're 60, okay, and it's never too late to change. If the first 3/4 of your life has been about stress and worry and anxiety, okay, coming into your heart, the love and the peace and the joy is always there. So that means that the rest of your life can be about that, okay? And for me, it was around this age of 30, probably 31, 32, when my friend said this to me, like, what's the rest of your life going to be about? Okay, I was in a job that I didn't like. I was working as an engineer in the corporate world, and I knew that if I didn't change, if I didn't do something drastically different, okay, I'm going to continue to struggle. I'm going to continue to be stuck. I'm going to continue to be lost, okay, in my vocation, like what I do, right? But I was at that point where I was like, no, I have to do something differently. And now when I wake up, I have to literally pinch myself, because all I do all day is come into my heart, be in my heart, and hold that space for other people so they can make that transition too, back into the love, the peace and the joy that resides within everyone. Okay, and this is just what I get to do. It's like a dream come true, and that's going to be for the rest of my life. I'll be holding that space for people, because this place, it just has so much meaning for me that I want the whole world to be living from this place. Yeah, and that's sort of why I do what I do, because I see a world where every single person has made that transition from their headspace and all of the thoughts and anxiety that goes from that back into the love and the peace and the joy and all of the connection and meaningful relationships and direction and clarity and connection with source, and all of that resides within, you know. So for you, at this point, it's like, well, where are you on this stick? Are you like 0? Or are you nearing 80? Or are you somewhere in between? And what has your life been what's your life been like up until that point? Okay, or this point, or that point. But more importantly, like what is it that you want the rest of your life to be about? Okay, do you want it to be the same? Right? Or do you want the result of the rest of your life to be something different? Okay? And that only comes about by making a change. Right? But you need to decide, like, okay, well, do I want to continue living in my head and all of the thoughts and all of the resulting feelings of that? Or instead, do I want to make that transition into my heart, okay, in a very practical step-by-step way, and also have the skills to be able to live from that space in the world? And if you do want to make that transition, okay, this is just what I do over and over again. I follow a step-by-step system with people to go from their head into their heart, and then start living from their heart in the world, so they have that freedom and they can start enjoying life again. Yeah, it's just what I do. Okay, so specifically that's how to turn off the mind, right? Going to no mind. Right? It's not about quieting the mind, but actually turning it off, so that you go from the beta brainwave pattern, which is associated with stress, anxiety and worry, down into the alpha, theta and delta states, which is all about relaxation and connection in the inner world and connection with source and the divine, and it transforms your experience, the clarity that comes with that. And then the second part, coming into the heart, like how to actually do that. There's a very step-by-step way, a technique that I teach on how to do that. And then how to start living from your heart in the world. So how to listen to the voice within your heart, follow its directives. Yeah, how to speak from your heart in the world so that you have the meaningful connective relationships with people. Okay, how to follow your heart. There's a force that guides everything. I tune you into that, right? So that then on this stick, like the rest of your life can be about that, about enjoying life, about having that freedom. And the way to do that is to do something differently, and that's to reach out, right? Because we can connect. This isn't about more information. If you want more knowledge and information, it's just feeding this thing that's keeping you stuck. But instead, I talk about the transformation, right? It's only 1 foot in direction, in length, from the head to the heart, but your experience of being alive completely transforms, and that's what I'm here to do. So what I mean by reach out is, somewhere on this page there's a form, there's an application form, where you can apply for a head-to-heart session with me, right? So it's just a matter of picking a date and time that works for you. There's a short application. Be detailed in that application. The more detailed you are, the more you'll learn about yourself. And also, the more I'll be able to help you on that call. And then on the next page, right, very important, on the next page after the application is a training video that goes deep into the 6 techniques I teach to go from the head to the heart and start living from your heart in the world. So watch that, take notes, send us an email confirmation that you've watched that, right? We can't talk unless we're on the same page. And then show up powerfully for the call, because this is a powerful call, because it literally has the power to transform your experience of being alive in the world, okay, on a day-to-day, very practical basis. So on that call, it's designed to be a pathway to get from where you currently are, so whether you're in all of that stress, the anxiety and the worry, or whether you do experience some forms of peace, the love and the joy, but you're wanting to transform that even further, okay? And that's what this call is designed to do, to give you a pathway to go from your head to your heart and start living from that space in the world. And obviously then at the end of the call, if I feel that there's a fit and I feel it makes sense, then we can also explore ways that we can work further together. And if it's not, then I'll also let you know that too. But either way, it's a powerful call because it literally has the power to transform your experience of what it is to be alive. And either way, at the end of that call, you'll have a pathway on how to go from your head to your heart and start living from your heart in the world. So thank you again for watching this video. Apply it below today for your head to heart session, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.